Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello.
Hello.
It's lovely to be here at our regularly scheduled time. Oh, shit. Oh dear. What day is this?
It's just not quite as impressive as Quantum Leap, where you get to travel back and say, oh boy, what year is this? You're like, what day is this? That's just the sign of a good hangover.
I suppose doing the show a day later is less impressive than if we managed to somehow do the show back in time.
Yeah.
Like if we came out on Monday, it had been out all this time, that would be... So can we do that for next week?
No, because of the inevitable drive and directionality of entropy. I think that's what stops us. Other than that, time travel we'd do that, but it's a bloody entropy.
I feel entropized all the time. Welcome to the show. We're a day late. We apologize for that. But the problems waited for us, luckily, and so did your trusty comedians, where we were going to solve all of the world's problems in the next 32 minutes.
And it was a bank holiday, so if ever there's a week to be a day late.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's not another one of those coming up for ages.
Why already, we should talk about this in one of the ranty sections, but this is the time of year when you can't bloody move for a bank holiday anyway. And they're like, yeah, let's do another one.
But the thing is, what I don't understand is why do you celebrate your banks so highly in this country?
Well,
you name every holiday after them.
Yeah. Do you know, here's the actual scandal. This Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, I logged onto the app and I transferred money and it moved. So it turns out it's bullshit.
Jesus. Because we name our holidays in America because of our rich and long history. And so there's President's Day, Martin Luther King Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, that kind of thing. I think you've got some history to draw on, although it's all kind of,
You don't mention that anymore.
History.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could tell it at time but then there's the one,
you know that our
let's just call it bank holidays.
You know that our bank holidays are actually titled?
Do they have names?
Yeah.
But nobody ever uses them.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? But there's Whitsun.
So what was this one?
Whitsun's one of them around here. I'm going to have to Google it now because
You don't even know what they are. That's how you can't say, oh, no, I've got 7 children. Okay, which one is yours? Oh.
No, you definitely could have children and not know the names. I think Boris Johnson shows you that one. New Year's Day, Good Friday, Easter Sunday. Sundays aren't bank holidays. Come on. May Day, late May bank holiday. That's catchy.
Come on.
I'm sure one of them's Whitsuntide.
That proves my point. Yeah. You can't call it the late May bank holiday.
Well, it's got James Corden vibes to it, isn't it? Like the Late Show.
He's coming back, isn't he?
God. Yeah. I watched the last episode. Did you watch any of that?
Nah.
I saw the last episode. They did a really good sketch, actually. To be fair, they did a good sketch where all the other late night people turned up to give them not an intervention, but you can't leave. You can't take any of your secrets, any of our secrets with you. Letterman was in that sketch as well, but clearly pre-recorded at a different time. And they accused him of just always going into a song. Everything ends up in a song, and then he starts doing a song, and they shut him down. It was actually quite funny.
That's good. But did you see why the interview that he said why he's coming back?
Isn't it because his kids? He'd promised that
he wants to be close to his family and stuff. It's kind of. I mean, I stay here to be away from my family.
The only reason we
love you guys.
These.
Love you guys. But there's a reason why we were delayed yesterday, and that's because I was actually out of town. I was up in Scotland. Checking in with friends and family. I don't know if you saw this in the news. Yeah! Woo! My president is here! So I went up to check in with Donnie and just see how he's doing and give him my love. So nice. Doesn't it feel nice having a fascist in the country? Another word.
I hadn't paid attention, but I did suddenly get a headache the other day. I didn't know what it was. I felt this dark presence, but...
In the force, yeah. I don't know why he's come to Scotland, because the UK has an extradition treaty with the United States. I don't know what he thinks he's doing here. I've long predicted that Trump loves to live in places that have his name on them. He is in deep legal trouble, and so he's going to have to go to a country without an extradition treaty. And that place does exist. Dubai Trump Golf Course.
Right, yeah.
He's got his own, he can go, he's got a place to go. So they just need to check the flight logs when he gets back on the plane to go back to America. If it suddenly starts veering to the left,
makes a lot of sense.
You'll know. Yeah.
Actually, why is he here?
Because he's got some golf courses up in Scotland, and he's checking in on them. And one of them apparently is doing badly, so that's how you know it's run by Trump.
Is it his Scottish golf courses where he buried one of his wives?
No, that was in New Jersey.
All right.
That's where you bury all your ex-wives.
There's a lot buried in that bunker.
But while he was here, he also decided to deal with some other unfinished business. We've got the headline for that as well. Turns out he's the sperm donor who fathered 550 children.
Wow.
It's not Trump, actually. But, I mean, it's just an impressive story.
That
is a lot of wanking.
I can say it does explain why he can't open his fist.
What I loved about the sperm stories, if you put that image back up again, what is the image they've gone with there? That's the sperm story. That's the dick story. There's the sperm story. What are they burning the sperm as incense? What the hell is that?
That's how you do it. You just pop it in a little oil burner,
and then just
wait for it.
I'm pregnant. Yeah,
you have to waft it lower. Actually,
I do know they're freezing the sperm, by the way. Just don't, before you get all condescending and sciencey on me. I know what's happening there.
It looks like
making fun of the image.
They're trying to impregnate R2-D2.
We didn't even plan that, guys. That was just a spontaneous whistle, and whiffle.
I mean, the reason we didn't plan it is not because we're great improvisers. We just didn't write a lot of jokes. Got to fill the time somehow.
We're fluffing like the guy who created 550 children.
Yeah. It's bizarre. So he's been banned from doing more.
How do they make sure he can't?
Exactly. I don't necessarily agree with voter ID, but it turns out wanker ID is important. And you can't just let anyone just do it. Otherwise, because it's problematic, isn't it? Because there's too many people who are too related to each other. It's a risk because they'll all roughly be around the same age. That's how that's going to work. Yeah. They'll all kind of look a bit alike, which according to science, that's one of the things that attracts you to someone.
Yeah.
So, it's
but I mean, Adam and Eve, we all came from two people in the first place. So it's just doing the Lord's work.
What happened there?
Everything turned out fine.
Yeah. Where's the one as well? I actually did manage to track down the actual guy who's done that much masturbating, and that's what he looks like now. You got to remember to rehydrate when you're doing this.
It's very important.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's, in fact, looking at that picture again, it kind of just looks like me in the future. I didn't realize.
But happier somehow.
Yeah, happier because I finally fit in the that coat, which I can't get on right now.
Oh dear. So yeah, that's my political satire on Trump. Basically, he's a wanker. Why is he here? What the fuck is going on?
Why do you bury your wife in a golf course? Because it seems like, I mean, I don't know how deep they did it, but there is a chance that, when someone shouts albatross, it's not because you have a golf swing. It's because these birds are just trying to dig her up.
Well, when she was buried at the golf course, people noted that it took a lot of pallbearers to carry the coffin, and there were rumors that he was burying things with her that he'd stolen from the White House. And everyone was like, "Oh, that's a left-wing conspiracy theory." And then a few months later, the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago and found a bunch of documents. So it feels like the end of this story is going to have her exhumed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whether an official exhumation or someone just like the ball gets in there and you've got to play on. You know the rules. That's the thing about golf.
Me and a couple of lads.
Doesn't matter where it lands.
Sneak in. It's New Jersey.
Keep chipping
People
away.
Steal bodies all the time.
Well, yeah, we look forward to see how that story continues then. I don't really have an individual story this time. I tried to.
What?
I tried to find one story and just do a take on it, but it's kind of different angles from the same story. And I tried to find a different one. Originally, I looked at the Daily Mail to try and find a new story that we could chat about. I did see this one. What's worse, fat or sugar? And I think if it's in answer to what would you rather be called, I'd rather be called sugar. Yeah, I've been around long enough to realise that's a better relationship. If your other half keeps calling you sugar, it's going well. Your other half keeps calling you fat,
Yeah.
maybe you need some therapy. But instead, I thought we'd just look at the build-up to the coronation. Next week, I imagine we might do a coronation special, because I don't know if you've heard about this, Eric. We're getting a new king.
What?
Mm.
We just barely finished with the old one.
Well, yeah, but we're going to get coronated, whatever the past tense is. The coronation's happening, and Prince Charles becomes King Charles when the coronated happens. I don't really know what the word is. I mean, it does feel like we're making a big... For those of you who don't really understand the royals, like you Americans, you must be thinking, like, oh my God, because that's, oh my God.
That's how we talk.
Like, I know you Brits, like, have totally bad dentistry, but you're, like, making a big deal about some dude getting a crown. And that's not what it is, in case you're worried. He's actually officially being sworn in. He's being anointed. He's being rubbed up with oil. This is the last time a royal got slathered in oil and rubbed up. What's that? Prince Andrew's going to sue if we finish that joke. All right. We'll carry on with that. And but I mean, he might be in the news, because I saw this headline: man arrested outside Buckingham Palace, and I thought, oh, Prince Andrew, he's really not been invited to any of this at all. He's been, like, written out of the history. No one's going to be mentioning the Duke of York during this. We are actually going to get some Harry stuff, which is interesting, because everyone's now, you know how we went through that phase of complaining, like, oh, if they turn up, they'll make it all about them. And then Meghan said she wasn't going, and people said, how dare she not go to the coronation? Yeah. And then they thought Prince Harry might not go, and then they hear that he officially would go, and like, how dare he go to the coronation, turning up to make it all about him. And then we hear that he's only staying for a short time before he travels back for family reasons. How dare he both turn up and leave? Oh, God. They just keep winding me up with their doing of things that I can find reasons to hate. So there's not a lot of Harry around. This was the headline in The Guardian. New anti-protest powers rushed into law in time for the coronation. And it's interesting that we need those. I mean, we had all last year people climbing up on the Dartford crossing, people just blocking traffic, blocking London. None of that seems to matter. One king is about to get crowned. We better bring in some laws about this. Because previously, as soon as he got the gig, people were throwing eggs at him at a time when there was an egg shortage. That's what got me. Throw something else. Like literally, Therese Coffey was saying use turnips, and you were not listening. They would have been the perfect throwing item. Anyway, we're not recommending that you do that. The Daily Star's coverage: Operation Hide the Sausage. This is a really cruel front page, because they're saying the reason he's got his hand like that is because he's trying to hide his big fat sausage fingers.
Oh.
This is when he was Prince Charles. He would always have his hand like that. It's like his deal. That's like a conical bra for Madonna. He always stood like that, but now they're saying it's to get rid of his big fat. If we just zoom in on those big fat, look at those big fat sausage fingers. And it's unfortunate, because his job is basically shaking people's hands. He's got to have the big fat sausage. But I would have preferred it if, like, the King Charles was a type of sausage, because you know how you get different foods associated with different royals. Like Coronation chicken sandwich, that's a bloody good sandwich. Victoria sponge, don't mind if I bloody do. Yeah. Coronation quiche, jog on. Quiche? What are you doing, man? So if it was why didn't they do a royal sausage, is what I'm saying. On to the next one. This was sent by Martin, who, speaking of the security, Air Chief Marshal, the Lord Peach, nice, has been appointed to carry the Sword of Mercy. It's 2023, guys. Sword of... How are swords particularly merciful, unless it's blunt, not very long, and wielded by someone who doesn't have great arm strength? That's the only sword of mercy, isn't it? Do you know what? I'll leave it in there. Then, what's this one? The Sky News app went with, how did Camilla successfully rehabilitate her image after Tampon Gate? Do you remember this?
No.
Well...
I've heard whispers of it, but I've never really understood.
So it was a scandal where someone managed to get details of their, whatever sexting was back in the old days. I think they had to do it via Telegram, which actually, sending a sext via a Telegram, very difficult, because just when you start to get into it, the word stop keeps cropping up. So, I want you to touch me there, stop. Wait, what? The well, this is the A game. I'm bringing the good stuff. It's where you can't sex by telegram. Oh, I like
This is my
that. Stop.
life.
Make your mind up. Then I can't. What was the last one? Oh, that's it. Time ago. So he said in some flirty exchanges that he wanted to be like reincarnated as her tampon.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a natural thing, and it's an important,
Well,
to have access to sanitary care. And if he's willing to do that for her, he should be willing to do it for the nation.
Okay. I'm not sure that she'd want him as her tampon, given that his hands are that big. But anyway, so at the time we were told like it was some weird kind of sexy thing. Actually, looking back, it was probably just bants, as we'd call it now. He probably wasn't expecting like this'll turn her on. It would be like, oh, here's a joke, and I guess it's fine that they had a joke together. But he said he wanted to be a tampon. That's what that story was. What's the next one? Oh, the Mirror went with this. Showbiz royalty. They're telling us who's turning up. And this is a bit that gets me. TV's Anton Deck, top list of stars to attend King's Coronation. I don't wish to be overly harsh, but if they're the top of the list, then it's not that celeb-based, is it?
What are you trying to say?
What are they, the world's most famous people? Anton Deck. People that if they didn't stand that way round, people wouldn't remember which one's which. Is that the definition of fame, Eric?
Hey, they're doing all right.
They're doing better than us, but that's not the definition of doing all right. But Tom Cruise is going to be there as well. So that's nice. What else is we got here? Oh yeah, the Daily Mail went with this one. Britain's rock solid support for royals. They did a survey asking like who was in favour of the royals, and rock solid support. Flipping igneous. We are talking rock solid granite support. Boom, 57%. We're in favour of it. And that is rock solid, because we all know 52% is an overwhelming majority. And then it was something like 70-something% were in favour of modernising it. If I did a gig and just over half liked it, but definitely way more said, you should think about changing it, I'm not sure I'd call that rock solid support for my work. But yeah.
Would that be moving on from like tampon gate to a moon cup?
Mate, yeah, modernise, do the moon cup thing with his big fingers. Then Crown the Hatch is the Metro. 62 million pints to be sunk, and there's going to be street parties. Is there a street party? Are you having a street party where you?
Yeah, we've got a street party in our neighborhood. Getting party on the street.
I don't think we are, or I definitely haven't been invited to one, which very likely.
No. How many of your neighbors have you met?
I mean, more than I can remember. Definitely.
You are the celebrity in your neighborhood. You are the Anton Deck of your street.
And people can't remember which one's me and which one's my wife if we're not stood the right way around, which is worrying. No, my missus is the celebrity of the street because everyone knows what she does, but no one knows why. So actually, I'll tell you, I think I can get away with telling this story. There's not too many secrets being betrayed here. There's a BBC journalist reporter called Sean Dilley who lives on the same street. Okay. And so therefore knows my missus who works in BBC News. And we bumped into him at the end of the street like last week before, and they were having their chat about work and whatever. And he turned to me and went, "You're not in this business as well, are you?" I'm like, "Oh, it feels good to be recognised for my work." Like, yeah.
But I mean, you told me somebody did recognize you from the MASH report, I thought, on your streets back in the day.
The guy across the street, yeah. He was a big MASH report fan, didn't know, because that's the thing. When we moved in, everyone knew what my missus did for a living, newsreader. Didn't know, no one knew any details of me. So all of a sudden that guy got the newsreader from the MASH report turning up saying, "I think you've got a parcel for me," which must have felt like the most high-grade prank anyone's ever arranged on Cameo.
Well, we are available for Cameo work. We will deliver. Yeah,
you say Cameo work, we are available for, what's it called these days? Every. We're available to work for every. And what's the other thing I was going to... Oh, yeah, so this street where TV Sean Dilley lives, and, you know, TV Stephen Allen that no one knows, well, used to be TV, was voted, it was in the top 5 friendliest streets in Britain. This actual street.
Wow.
This was, I think, a year or two before I moved in. Ever since then, we have not placed in the top 10. I'd like to
Well
take all of the credit for bringing that
You've
back
got a
up.
skill. You've got a unique set of skills.
Yeah. And I won't bother you with them because I keep myself to myself. So I've not been invited to the street party. So anyway, so hopefully people are having street party. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. Yeah, apparently £1 billion worth of extra trade in the hospitality sector is expected because of the coronation. It's really going to help pubs because they keep closing down all the time. And it finally makes sense as to why so many pubs are called royal things. The King's Arms, the King's Head. Like, they just love all this royal stuff. A couple of pictures left. This was Sky News as well. Gave us this promo shot. Which I think is from the coronation when they both go into the diary room to talk to Big Brother about what it's like so far. But the last one that we have to mention, this was the Sunday Telegraph, newspaper of the year, that year, 1952. Archbishop will ask millions to pledge allegiance to their king. That's not gone well, has it? Because it's not North Korea, and if we were just going to sit there and watch it, that's fine. But you're asking us to pledge allegiance to... I hate it when there's like play along at home on a TV show, and that's basically what this is. So no, I won't be pledging allegiance to a monarch. I don't even have a contract at work. You're asking the wrong guy if you want allegiance. I'm literally a freelancer. My lance is available to anyone. But I will say this. I'm not in favour of getting rid of the monarchy. And I've worked out why. Because if we got rid of him, we'd have to vote for some sort of replacement. And right now, this nation is so tribal, so split, so divided. If we had to vote for something, there'd be another war, and I can't be bothered. So, Your Honour, whatever your name is, HRH, you crack on, mate. There you go. That's my pledge of allegiance. You've already pledged,
Well,
haven't you?
I mean, yes, indeed. I have, in my citizenship process, I have actually pledged my allegiance at that time to the Queen and to her heirs and to descendants and all that. So I'm already in. I'm upped. I've signed the contract. I've ticked the terms and conditions. Not like you. You don't belong in this country.
I'm not pledging because loads of people shouldn't pledge because all those royalists who absolutely love it. Oh, I love the monarchy. We're like one bad car crash away from Prince Harry being the person you've pledged allegiance to. Oh, that's going to sting some, isn't it? So yeah. You've pledged allegiance to Harry. Do you realise that?
Well, I'm not bothered.
You say that now.
I mean, when you know the royals I've met. I mean, the thing is, if we did have an elected executive, Donald Trump is in the country. His mother was Scottish. I think that means he might be eligible to apply for British citizenship, or we can make a law that he is, and then we could have King Donald.
Another good reason as to why we should continue with the monarchy.
Yep.
With their big sausage hands.
Basically, will you watch the coronation at least?
I think I will, but only because I'll need it for references and for talking about it. I didn't realise, because the TV thing that you don't really do it anymore. You've got out of that particular loop. But I go and review the newspapers. And when the documentary, the 6-part documentary on Netflix about Harry and Meghan came out, I watched it all thinking, if I don't, someone's going to bring it up and I'll look like I'm ill-informed. And then every time we've talked about it on that TV station, no one's watched it. 6 hours of my life.
I think the point is being informed is not the objective.
Yeah, on that topic. Well, in all topics, everywhere in life, anger is apparently what you need.
Yeah. We just got one quick story to wrap up if we're done with the royals. This one just caught my eye. It was I've gotten small. I got smaller there for a second. Make me thinner. This happened at a museum in Seoul. Someone saw a piece of art, which I don't understand art, but then again, I do dick jokes for a living. Someone saw that taped to the wall and ate it, and we were able to get a picture of the person who took the banana. There it is. So that's all I've got on that story.
That's a hell of a haircut, isn't it? Do you know what? When you've got that available, I think we also should have used that as the punchline to this story. Got that look to him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Why would you stick a banana to the... How is that art?
It speaks of the transience of human nature.
Oh.
The consumerism that somehow plagues us all.
I mean, someone did say to me once that the point of art is something that is pointless. Like that's what makes something art. You can't have a true functionality to it, because then it's a thing, you know. If it's a door, so if it's a door that doesn't open to anything, then it's art. But if it's a door that actually opens to the next room, it's no longer art because it has function.
But on that though, that's got function. Imagine if you stood there and you're just really hungry, like that dude was. Function.
Yeah. I think maybe it was supposed to like decay and just, like you were saying, like some life lesson of a lack of permanence.
Yeah, a lack of permanence, but quite a lot of potassium. Is that what it's saying? I
think it's saying. I don't know. But look at, even bananas are getting more publicity than I am these days.
You should tape yourself to a wall and get a man from Seoul to eat you. I mean, that would. Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, so we should be back on Tuesday next week. I haven't looked at the diary. Yes, it should be workable. We are moving location. I've heard about this nice street that some BBC presenters live on. So
used to be really
thinking
friendly.
About checking that out.
Used to be really friendly. It's really gone downhill. It's not quite so friendly anymore.
So that may interrupt some of our recordings in the next couple of weeks while we get things sorted. But I've been promised getting a new upgrade on the old broadband at the new house. Ooh, almost makes it worthwhile. Getting some fiber something. I can't remember what it is, but they've promised faster speeds.
Nice.
I don't understand what they are. But
well, hopefully people can help fund that, your additional Wi-Fi and broadband costs.
Yes, that'd be lovely.
Contributing at the scrolling link below.
Kofi. But yes, otherwise, if we've solved the problems, I guess we're done for this week. If you're free on Saturday night, we are having a gig on the night of the coronation, and so far, most people are not buying tickets. So if you'd like to see some comedy in Wimbledon, that would be nice, because at the moment, there's nobody fucking there.
It was the one time I've actually remembered to take time off from gigs when it looks like there won't be a gig. Because ordinarily I'm booking in for like the World Cup final and England's in it. I'm like, oh no, I'll go and drive for 4 hours to go do a gig up north.
I thought people would be just like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'll go to comedy, but I was wrong.
I'm not a great fan for or against the concept of royalty, but it's a one-off thing that if you don't see it, like I'm not going to live long enough.
It's going to be done by 8 o'clock, isn't it? I mean, it's not going to go on all night long.
Oh, they say it will be done by 8, but you know what it's like. They get a few drinks down them, and then all of a sudden late night partying. Have they got one of those? Have they got like Brian May doing something? Doing a guitar solo?
Maybe. It's going to be getting some Charlie off the Stone of Destiny.
What? And we know who Charlie is. Oh, I see. And now we're all Carolean or whatever it's called. Carolean. Shaggy.
Is this the era?
Yeah. Which is it's annoying, isn't it? Instead of it being Elizabethan from Elizabeth, that makes sense. What is it when it's Charles? Carolean. Of course it. Straight after Corona, calling ourselves.
But that came from a lab. Wuhan, Wales, somewhere.
Makes a lot of sense.
So we should be back next week, unless when Charles becomes king, he takes off his lizard face and eats us all. That might happen. That's probably most likely.
Yeah, whichever comes first. Out of those two scenarios, whichever comes first is the one that we'll do. Sounds good.
There we go.
Right, I'm going to take the waistcoat off. Get me making an effort.
So there we go. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.